Morning all, welcome to the morning after show, the morning after the night before. What a result, what a performance. Newcastle United 3, Everton 1. Yet again, a bit like Leeds last time out, beating a team above us in the table. We've climbed out of the relegation zone for now. Results sort of went our way. Watford got beaten by West Ham, by all accounts a much improved Watford under Roy Hodgson. Got beaten by West Ham 1-0, and Burnley managed to survive against Manchester United and put in a very good second half performance to draw 1-1 with Man U. The United game finished 15 minutes after ours, so I did tune in for the last 10 minutes and was willing Sancho, Ronaldo, Pogba, Bruno and the like to score a goal, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, this is a video about us. Newcastle United 3, Everton 1. In a game that a lot of people had either Everton picked due to their nice little bounce against Brentford at the weekend, new manager bounce and all that malarkey, but a lot of people had it down as a draw. Obviously two teams who couldn't afford to lose the game, who would just sort of cancel each other out. Instead of taking a risk potentially and going for it, would sit back and protect 0-0, 1-1, whatever. It was not to be. Newcastle, that is the best performance this team has put up this season. Best performance defensively and in attack. Certain key players had extremely good games. No one had a bad game. I'm delighted to report. So let's go through it. Starting off the starting 11. So I did my little pre-game video on the way to watch the game yesterday, or to watch the game on TV last night. Much unchanged. It was only the left back position that changed from the Leeds game. So we had a debut at left back. Obviously, Martin Dubravka in goal. A debut at left back from that target on loan from Aston Villa. Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles in centre half positions. Our Fun 88 sponsored Newcastle Player of the Month in Kieran Trippier. Three-man midfield Joe Linton, John Joe Shelvey and Mr. Joseph Willock. And up front we had, on the right-hand side, Ryan Fraser. Through the middle, Chris Wood. And on the left wing, the man, the myth, Alan Samak-Saman. So, 3 subs that I'm not going to go through the whole subs bench because, to be honest, irrelevant because only 3 of them came on. I will say Dan Burn was on the bench, a slight knock, hence why I didn't start, but by all accounts he was available to come on should we need him. But due to the defence playing so well last night, there was no need. So, 3 subs who came on: Jacob Murphy, Avik Manquillo and Bruno Guimaraes. So, going through player by player. 3 subs first, might as well get them out of the way whilst they're fresh in my brain. Avik Manquillo came on, a few minutes left, nothing to do. I think he made a couple of passes and a clearance. Bruno Guimaraes, much anticipated, would have liked to see him come on a bit earlier in the game, perhaps as soon as we scored that 3rd goal. I would have liked to have seen him come on, to be honest, but wasn't to be. Came on just for injury time. Had a couple of moments. One where he received the ball in midfield and drove at their defence, drove at their midfield, which is what his game's all about: possession and progressing up the pitch. And then he did a cheeky little back heel in the corner for the fans to Joe Linton. And we had Jacob Murphy, who came on again a bit later than I would have liked to have seen him, but Eddie Howe's the manager and he got everything absolutely spot on yesterday. He came on, he had one great chance, released down the right hand side by Alan Samak-Saman, bit of an angle, great strike, on target, hit the post. That would have made it 4-1, and it was a shame because we caught them. Everton were pushing, Everton were a bit deflated, and we caught them on the break. But let's go through it back to front. We have, first of all, Martin Dubravka didn't have an awful lot to do. Nothing to report really. Caught a couple of crosses, no real smart blocks or saves he had to make. Couldn't have done anything about the goal. Matt Targett, the left back, hardly mentioned by the commentary. Didn't get any balls into the box really, but again, don't need him to. That's not what he's here for. Solid down that left hand side. Nothing really broke down his side, to be honest. He was very good. Solid, quiet, assured. To be honest, unless you've got a fullback who is like a Roberto Carlos or Alexander Arnold, or someone who's flashy and creates and scores or goals for a fullback, you don't really, or any sort of defender, you don't really want to hear about them. If their name's being mentioned in commentary all the time, it's either because they're getting forward lots, which he wasn't, or they're really struggling, which he didn't. Solid debut for a new number 13, Matt Targett, on loan from Aston Villa. Next we have Fabian Schär, who was the sort of left-sided centre-back. A lot of people wanted Dan Burn, obviously for his debut, being left-footed and all that malarkey. However, Fabian Schär is undroppable at the moment. Man of the match against Leeds. Yeah, last night he was solid, composed, read the game perfectly. He had one sort of tackle, which was a yellow card, I think. Now, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, he's off. So I thought he was the last man, but he wasn't the last man, and it wasn't goals from opposition. But it looked a lot worse at first. That when you look back at it, it wasn't that bad at all. But he was good in the air, passed well, covered well, offered support to Targett and Lascelles when they were struggling, or when they not struggling, but when they needed someone to pass the ball to, he was there. He's always good in possession. He's a class act. He read the game well. He covered well. Brilliant again for Fabian Schär. Jamal Lascelles next. Jamal Lascelles, up until the last month, has really struggled this season. Let's be honest. He's not been great by his own standards. A few own goals, dodgy tackles, giving away penalties, yada yada yada. Late mistakes when your team's tired and clinging on for dear life. Against Leeds, he was very good. Last night, he was excellent. He was excellent. This was the Lascelles of the 17-18 season when we first came back into the Premier League. Alright, he scored an own goal. Not a lot he could have done about that. Ball went into the box. It wasn't his his problem to deal with in terms of like the first ball coming in. I think it was Fabian Schär. It was a good contest from the other player challenging him, and it's bobbled around, and it's just unlucky that Jamal again is the one who's gone to deal with it, and it's just bounced off his stomach into the goal. He's gone to try, you can see he sort of dipped his head to head it. He's hoping it's going to bounce up, he can just buff it out. Unlucky. However, talking about redemption, going up the other end of the pitch, and I mean, people talk about bullet headers. This was on the level of the Ronaldo header against, if anyone of you remember, Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League when he played for United the first time against Roma, when he came steaming in, flying through the air like a fucking salmon, and bosh. Lascelles wasn't flying through the air like a fucking salmon, but he came through with all the acceleration of a fucking steam train and just smashed that header. Bang! Slapped it against the crossbar. Down it comes. I think it was Mason Holgate, similar to Jamal, caught in the wrong place. In it goes. Wow, what a redemption story. A minute after scoring an own goal, he goes at the other end, and instead of sulking, instead of feeling all sorry for himself and why me again, he's thought, do you know what, fuck this, I'm going to do something about it. Boom! Brilliant. For the rest of the game, however, Jamal Lascelles was superb. Blocked everything, headed everything, good tackles, good communication with his other defenders. Again, he's another one who seems to be benefiting from having Kieran Trippier next to him. Trippier is obviously very experienced and a born leader and organiser. I'm not saying Trippier's looking after Jamal Lascelles and coaching him through the game, carrying him, no, but they're striking up a partnership and understanding, which is good to see. Brilliant by our captain, and I could Kieran Trippier, excellent, barking people around the pitch, confrontational in tackles and in the little niggles with the Everton players, straight in defence of his teammates. He's got a lot to say. He comes across as a gobby little cunt sometimes, but good for us. Leader, captain material, great distribution, solid under pressure, accurate in his passing, good link-up play with Ryan Fraser. It wasn't so much a great link-up as it was against Leeds, because a lot of our play was done on our left-hand side in the central areas due to the outstanding contribution of two lads I'll speak about in a minute. But he was great. And that free kick, peach. Who was the last player apart from John J. Sharp to score a free kick for us? If anyone's actually watching this, who knows the answer, please comment. Because apart from Henry Saive against West Ham, I can't think of anyone who scored a free kick apart from John J. Shelby. But great free kick, over the wall, bottom corner, bosh, brilliant. So pleased. Right at a time where we needed it, where Everton was starting to creep back into the game. Dele Alli was starting to play a nice few dribbles and passes. Good. Solid. One of the stars again. He's been excellent in every game he's played for us in the Premier League. Into the midfield now. Joe Linton, the usual combative self, competitive, put himself about. He seems to be one of the leaders of the press when it comes to harrying the other team, the defenders, which is great to see, because his confidence is clearly on a different planet to where it was prior under the previous management. Fantastic. If only he had his shooting boots on, because he had two very good opportunities. One where he sort of took a heavy touch on his right foot, was dragged him very wide left, and the other one where I think he was leaving it for Chris Wood was leaving it for him, and he's got sort of tripped up over his own feet. But for what we want from him, in that position, brilliant. John Jashalvi, the quieter of the three midfielders. If I was going to do a grade in system, he'd probably have the lowest. Not that he was bad, not that he was average, he was good, quite good. He got a yellow card for a dodgy tackle, but he sprayed the ball around well, he passed the ball well, he harried, he organised. He was in the pivot role, sat in front of the back four, he screened well. He just wasn't as noticeable because Joe Linton was very good and the third midfielder was outstanding. So Shelvey just suffered by comparison. He was good, don't get me wrong. Joe Willock was tremendous, outstanding, superb last night, to the point where there's another player who was better than him on our team. But in terms of the midfield battle, I thought we bossed the midfield. Alan played some cute little passes here and there. Andre Gomez was chasing shadows, and a lot of that was down to Joe Willock. Now you look at him, he doesn't look like a powerful man. He's quite slim. All footballers are slim, but a bit slight, skinny even, you could say. But he tackles, and he tackles hard. He tackles clean. His technique is perfect. He put himself about last night. He really put himself about. A bit like Joe Linton, he dominated the space. He passed really well. He's very good at 1-2s, give and take. He's good at reading where the space is going to be, cutting off passing lanes. Very, very good. And that's the best I've seen of Joe Willock. He got the ball and he drove forward. He was excellent. Really good. If he didn't have any chances, but if he'd scored a goal, that would have been the perfect game for him, because he was so good. So good. Now, into the forwards. Chris Wood, let's get Chris Wood out of the way. Didn't do anything wrong apart from he blew that chance he had. The header he had, 6 yards out, he didn't get any power on it though, he didn't attack it. He didn't need to jump, so he could lever everything onto it, and he just sort of, get it on target. Should have gone back across goal like this in commentary. But he won some aerial duels, he got us up the pitch, he was always an outlet, always available. Won some fouls to, again, as I said, get us up the pitch. I just think he needs a goal. He desperately needs a goal. It's only 3 games into his Newcastle career. I think if it goes 8, 9, 10 games without a goal, I think that 25 million fee might swallow him a bit. But at the minute, he will score. He had a goal disallowed, and it was one of those sort of off his knee or something like that, or just bounced off him, where you think, a bit like when Peter Crouch all those years ago was struggling to score for Liverpool. Something like that. Lucky bounce or something would set him on his way. Unfortunately, he was offside. A decent display, but frustrating, because that chance was the sort of chance that he would have, if Eddie Howe had said to him, right, you're going to get a chance tomorrow, what would you like? Apart from a tap in or an open goal, what would be your ideal scenario? I imagine it would be something like that, you know. But it will come. It will come. Now on to Ala Saint-Maximin. Woo! Shit hot last night. He ripped Everton a fucking new one on several occasions. The amount of times he picked the ball up in the midfield and they could not fucking get near him. Anytime they did get near him, they were pulling his shirt, kicking him, pulling his shorts at one point. They didn't manage to foul him that much because he was just on it last night. He was on it. He was so quick, so elusive. Every time he got the ball, and then even if he was crowded, his footwork he was too quick. His dribbling was too good, too elusive, too precise. He was fantastic. He was phenomenal. Quick, pace, power, precision. A willingness to keep going. Getting to the byline, crossing in, cutting in and shooting, laying it off on the edge of the box after beating 4 or 5 players, mugging people off left and right. Amazing. If we go down, which I don't think we will, we ain't keeping him. If we stay in the Premier League, I think we need to pay him whatever he wants, because he is worth whatever we can pay him to us. He is sensational, phenomenal. Oh, just so good. So good. It's not even funny how good he was. The only thing that was missing was a goal. He assisted Ryan Fraser. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was going to leave ASM till last, but I've just realised I've left Ryan Fraser to last. Fraser, not as prominent as he was against Leeds, because a lot of the play was down ASM side. Very good. Ran all night, some good balls into the box. Again, fun, great. That partnership between him and Trippier is just getting better game by game. Not so much last night with their attacking impetus, but defensively the organisation, you can see they're on the same page, on the same wavelength. And he got a goal, brilliant. ASM got to the byline, put the ball into the box. Wood had gone sort of near post. Fraser identified that there was someone needed to take up space at the back post. He went for it, gambled, paid off. Not the flashiest goal in the world, not as good as his goal in Saudi the other day, but every goal counts, and it was a solid connection and brilliant for him. Set us on our way. Fantastic all-round performance from this team. So pleased. So pleased. Any negatives? No. Lascelles' own goal was unlucky, but it wasn't like he completely fucked up. It was bobbing around and he just happened to be in the wrong place. Or he just happened to be the one trying to deal with it. Great team selection. I would have liked to have seen the subs come on a little bit earlier, but then again, what do I know? Eddie Howe's the manager, not me. Incredible. Wow. Great. Makes it all the more, a little bit of me is a bit bitter, because I had tickets for that game. I was up there and I had to come home due to a family thing. But wow, yeah, good. Sets us on our way. Villa on Sunday. I'll do another video probably Friday. Friday reflections will be back. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the game last night. What a performance. See you next time. Cheerio.